Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Rican Golabo. So today I am going to talk about everything sunscreen. So when it comes to anti-aging, sunscreen is not considered a sexy product, or when it comes to skincare, sunscreen is not even considered something that is part of skincare by most people. People who know that it's important. But if there is a single most important product for anti-aging, that is sunscreen. Why? Because aging happens because of three things. Gravity, like I said in one of my earlier videos. We live on this planet. We want to continue living on this planet, so we cannot do much about gravity. The other thing is lack of moisture. We can do lots and lots of things about that. The third thing is sun damage. Sun causes wrinkles, sun causes anti-aging, and that's where the sunscreens come in. When it comes to sunscreen, there are a lot of myths around that too. For example, people think that sunscreen is only important for people with lighter skins. Sunscreen is only important to prevent skin cancer, and also if you're staying indoors, you don't need sunscreen. This is as far from reality as it can be. Everybody needs sunscreen. So before I talk about what sunscreens do I use, which ones are the best, what's available in the market, the budget ones, the more expensive ones, I want to take a minute to talk about how sun damages our skin and how it causes aging. So you may have heard of the terms UVA, UVB. So UV stands for ultraviolet, and UVA and UVB are the two kinds of sun rays that hit the Earth's surface. So UVA sinks deep into our skin and causes those unwanted sunspots, hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and it can even pass through glass windows. So on UVB, on the other hand, causes sunburn. Hence the term UVA and UVB. So UVA is for aging, UVB is burning. This is how you will remember it. We need a sunscreen that does both, that prevents from both UVA and UVB, and that's what what a broad spectrum sunscreen is all about. That prevents from UVA as well as UVB. So okay, so not all sunscreens are created equal. There are different kinds of sunscreen. There are two main kinds of sunscreen, chemical sunscreen and physical or mineral sunscreens. So the ingredients that are used in a physical or mineral sunscreen are zinc oxide, titanium dioxides. That's what I have seen mostly. The way a physical or a mineral sunscreen works is that it sits on top of your skin, and then when light hits your skin, it reflects it, so it does not absorb into your skin, and that's how it deflects sun rays. Chemical sunscreens, on the other hand, absorb into your skin, and they absorb sunlight and emit heat, but in that process they filter it and they prevent the sun damage. However, chemical sunscreen, and of late you may have heard, have been getting a lot of bad press lately, and there have been a lot of studies that have been done that shows that chemical sunscreens have a lot of harmful effects. Not only are they harmful for us, but they're also harmful for marine life. So what are the ingredients that make up a chemical sunscreen? So I have it down because it's a mouthful. I wrote this all down. The first ingredient that has the most bad press and has most human studies associated with it is oxybenzone. So that is has been shown to lead to weak estrogen and moderate anti-androgen, and it associated with altered birth weight in human studies. So which is huge. The other ingredient that you should look out for is octisalate. This disrupts estrogen and androgen and progesterone. The other ingredient, another ingredient is homosylate or octinoxate. So this, there have been in animals some animal studies done, and within those animal studies, there have been thyroid and behavioral alterations that have been seen. It's funny, but it's not funny actually. It's sad. But all my life I used chemical sunscreens. I didn't know about physical sunscreen. I didn't know about the differentiation. I didn't even know if they existed or the harmful effects that it had. I started applying sunblock when I was 28, 29, SPF 15. And then I started doing, I went all the way up to SPF sun protection formula 110. And most of them were from Neutrogena. I would swear by those products. I didn't only apply it on myself. I gave it to everyone in the family as well, even the kids and extended families, my siblings, my mom. But about like 14, 15 years ago, I developed hypothyroid. And who knows that it is because of years of application of chemical sunscreen. And because of that, one of the reasons I cannot lose weight is my hypothyroid. So another ingredient that you should know about, which is chemical, which is in a chemical sunscreen, is avobenzone. However, there is no evidence of hormonal disruption found with that. So when you're, it's really a personal choice. If you want to select a chemical sunscreen, make sure that it does not at least have oxybenzone. That is the one that has the most human studies done. So I talked about how it's harmful for marine life. Before I go there, I want to tell you that I am reading this from the Environmental Working Group's website, and they track that. So it's not me who's saying all this. It's the Environmental Working Group, and I'll link the I'll put the link in the description box. So how does it affect our marine life? So whenever we swim or shower, it enters our waterways, and it harms algae by impairing their growth and photosynthesis process. It affects coral reefs because it accumulates in their tissues and can induce bleaching, damage DNA, deform their young, and even kill them. It affects mussels because it can induce defects in young. It affects the dolphins because it can accumulate in their tissue and be transferred to their young. It harms the fish because it can decrease their fertility and reproduction and cause female characteristics in male fish. And then it also harms sea urchins. It can damage their immune and reproductive systems and deform their young. So that's a whole lot, and it's really heartbreaking. And so just so you know where I am getting this information, I'm on the National Ocean Service website, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, U.S. Department of Commerce, and this is featured on their website. This is an infographic that is on their website. I'll link it in the description box so you can also know and read it on your own. Okay, so now that we have talked about the advantages and disadvantages of chemical as well as physical and mineral sunscreen, let's talk about what kind of sun protection do we need? So every sunscreen product comes with a rating, which is indicated by the numbers ranging from 15 to 110, and the term that precedes the number is SPF, which stands for Sun Protection Formula. You may have seen SPF 15, SPF 30, SPF 50, and so on. Dermatologists recommend that we should at least have apply a sunscreen that has an SPF 30. However, a word of caution: the SPF only lists the ability of a product, its ability to prevent or block UVB rays, the burning part. There is nothing, the SPF does not talk about the UVA, the aging part. So that is something that I learned a couple years ago, and it was an epiphany for me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And there is and most of the West product sunscreen that we see here in the U.S. only list SPF and nothing. You would see that it's broad spectrum, and while you would maybe find by picking a product that says protects both against both UVA and UVB, there is a particular rating system that was created and established in Japan and a lot of Asian countries. The sunblocks that and the sunscreens in the Asian countries track both SPF and the rating that gauges the ability to prevent against the UVA. It's called the PA system. P as in parrot, A as in apple. So you may have seen PA plus, PA plus plus, PA plus plus plus, and more recently, and I'm even seeing 4 pluses, not everywhere, but in some products. So PA plus means that you're getting some protection against UVA rays. PA plus plus means moderate, and PA plus 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 is like that. It's the most, the best protection that you can get in the range. And recently, like I said, I've started seeing plus 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 plus, and I would recommend for people with darker skins or even lighter skins, if you're concerned about the aging part, you should select a sunblock that particularly lists the PA rating. Like I said, most sunblocks in the US only track and only list the SPF rating, but off late I've started seeing it in some brands. One of my favorite brands, Super Goop, which is a fairly new sunblock brand, and all they do is sunblock, and they have different kinds and a whole array of sunblocks: chemical, mineral, liquid, powder, spray, all kinds. And I have used their Unseen, Super Goop Unseen, and they list both the SPF as well as the PA rating. Another brand that I've seen it listing is the Paula's Choice. So I am currently using a sunblock that is that's an Asian sunblock, and that prevents against both UVA and UVB, and it tracks, and it's not very pricey. Super Goop and Paula's Choice tend to be on the pricier side of the spectrum, so I prefer not to spend so much on sunblock when you can get a very good product in cheaper and more affordable price point. As you can imagine, I like to select a product, a sunblock, that has the maximum amount of pluses with their PA, and the minimum sun protection formula that I like to use is SPF 50. But before I move on and to tell you about the actual sunblocks that I've used and currently what I'm using and what I've found helpful, I want to talk about one more ingredient that is extremely essential when you're selecting a sunblock. And that is iron oxide. So whenever you're selecting a sunblock, please see if it contains iron oxide. Most of the mineral sunscreens have iron oxides. I haven't seen that in any chemical sunscreen, but maybe there are out there. And if there is anything out there that you have seen, please share it in the comment box so that we can all learn as a community, and we can all benefit from that information. But so what does iron oxide do? So iron oxide protects against blue light. Blue light is what is a kind of light that is emitted from our computers, our devices, our phones, our tablets. And with our current lifestyle, we are all constantly glued to some device or the other. We work more than 8 hours or 8 or more hours a day in front of our computers. We are constantly on our phones, and it emits a lot of blue lights that leads to aging. And iron oxide is one ingredient that prevents against that. Zinc oxide and titanium oxide, dioxide, the two other ingredients that are that make up that are put in a mineral sunscreen, they are not very effective at preventing blue light. So currently, the sunscreen that I'm using, it's fairly cheap, but it's a mineral sunscreen, and it has that as well. One disadvantage of, I shouldn't say one more, one disadvantage of mineral sunscreen is that it leaves a white cast, and that is why I discourage a lot of people to switch to mineral sunscreen. But I have found a great sun block that doesn't leave a white cast, that is mineral, and is also very affordable, and is available in the US in everywhere. So let's move on to the product. So this is the sunscreen that I used. It's by Australian Gold. It's called Botanical Tinted Face Broad Spectrum SPF 50. And as you can see, it lists both UVA and UVB. It does not have a PA rating, but I think it's good enough to see that it has a PA rating. Why is the light like? Okay, yeah, this is better. So it is by a brand called Australian Gold, and you can see here that it is I don't know if you can see, but I can read it out to you. It says hypoallergenic. It is oxybenzone free. It is fragrance free. It is PABA free. It is phthalate free, I think. And then it is dermatologist tested. It is reef friendly, and no animal testing. And it contains 4% titanium dioxide and zinc, 4% zinc oxide. One thing that I wanted to talk about is that in mineral sunscreens, you'll see different amounts of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide ranging from 20% to 4%. Don't select a product based on how high those ingredients are. They have their own formulas, and if it says that it has an SPF 50 and it's broad spectrum, just don't worry about the percentage of the product, the ingredient that's listed. And this one has iron oxide too. I don't know if you can read it, and it retails for $13 to $15. I usually buy it at Ulta whenever, and it takes the coupon when if you buy something like for worth $15, you can get $350 off, and a lot of the times you get buy one get one 50% off, and that's the time I blow it up on it. So this is the one that I'm using currently. I love it. It does not leave a white cast. It's tinted. So other good characteristics that this one has is that it's also sulfate free, which is the detergent. And it is also petroleum free, paraben free, alcohol free, so it doesn't dry out your skin. And it's also oil free, it's BPA free, and no artificial dyes. So I think this is such a good sunblock in this price point, and I love it. I'll show you what it looks like, and the texture and how it sits on the skin. Okay, I'll just, and then you can see how it didn't leave, even though it's a mineral sunscreen, it didn't leave any white cast. It's absorbed into skin really seamlessly. It sits like satin, and it's really good under makeup. So this is my go-to sunscreen. This is my go-to sunscreen. The other sunscreen that I was talking about was Supergoop. This is what it looks like. It's called the Unseen by Supergoop, and it's an SPF 40. This one, if you may be able to, I'll bring it closer, you may be able to see it has a PA rating as well. It's a PA+++. And this is a chemical sunscreen, you guys. However, this does not contain oxybenzone, the most, and none of their chemical sunscreen, one of the claims that Supergoop has is that none of their sunscreens have oxybenzone. And this one is also, it says that it's clean chemical sunscreen. So it's reef safe, it's non-irritating, it's no synthetic fragrance, and it's vegan. So if you have to have a chemical sunscreen, I would recommend the Supergoop. I have the travel size. I bought this whole kit of Sephora favorites that had 8 or 9 sunscreens, and this one was one of it. I wanted to give it all a go, and then I'll show you how beautiful it sits on your skin. It's totally unseen, it's transparent, and it just disappears. And it does not pill, it does not leave a white cast. Of course, it's transparent, and it really works as a good primer. So if you want a sunscreen that's chemical, use Supergoop. The other one that it's another mineral sunscreen that I am in love with. It's by a company called Drunk Elephant. You might be aware of it. It's a newer company on the block. I've tried everything that they have. Their moisturizers are amazing, their serums are amazing, and their oils are amazing. Everything that they've tried, it's a great company, and I'm in love with all their products. So this is what it looks like. It's called Umbrella Tint Physical Daily Defense Broad Spectrum Sunscreen SPF 30. Even though it's just SPF 30, it's fine. I keep it for a reapplication. The best part about it is this tube. It has it dispenses the product from this little hole, and you squeeze it, it comes out. Come on. Okay, I put a lot. I just wanted to show you guys. And you can see it's tinted, and and it doesn't leave any white cast. It again sits like satin. It disappears, and it works magically under makeup. One mineral sunscreen that I'm very, very fond of. It is something that gives you a really nice glow on your face. So it's on the pricier side. It's zinc oxide 20%, but if you really want to try it, you can give it a go. The other one, and the last one here that I am very, very fond of, it's an Asian sunscreen. It's by PURITO. It's called Centella Green Level Safe Sun SPF 50 and PA++++. It is one of those few products that have 4 pluses. I'm using it right now. I'm loving it. It's just 2 ounces in it. It's about 60 ml and 2 ounces, and it retails for about $18, $17 or $18. I got it from YesStyle. If you want to grab it, I'll put my 6% friend code, 6% off friend code, and you can utilize that and get this one. This one is this one has a lot of good features. This is calming and moisturizing because it has Centella asiatica as well. Has safe ingredients for all skin types. These are some of the things that are listed right on the packaging. And this one again spreads beautifully and doesn't leave a white cast. See how beautiful. It does not pill under makeup or with multiple level or layers of skincare. It is just beautiful. So this is pretty much all about sunscreens, why we should apply, why they're so important, what's the difference between chemical and physical sunscreens, what are the features of all, and what are some of the best sunscreens that I like to use. If you have some sunscreens that you have questions about, do leave that in the comment box and I'll try to get answers to those. If I've used them, I've used quite a few over the years. These are the 4 that I'm sticking to. I think my go-to will be the Australian Gold one, and I think alternate between Centella Green Level by PURITO and the Australian Gold. The price point is really good and they're very good. And they have all the features that I'm looking for. Iron oxide is one thing that I always want in my sunblock. So I did say that sunblock is extremely important for everybody. So there is a misconception that if we are staying indoors, we don't need a sunblock. We do need a sunblock unless you're living in a black box without any windows. You don't need a sunblock, but you do need a sunblock even if you're indoors. One of the things that I do as soon as I wake up, I do my skincare routine and I put on sunblock the way I used to. I don't reapply anymore because I'm indoors, but it's a good habit to reapply as well. Do comment in the comment box as to what you thought about all this information, and if there's anything else that you'd like me to talk about, sunscreen or not. So as I'm making these videos, I take your feedback into account. So I hope you found this video helpful and the content useful. And if you did, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, American Golabo. Till I see you next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Goodbye.